For DS. Poor fella.
So hot, dude. Look how steamy the
Setting up
phone
the
is.
meeting.
Oh my
See
god.
Dang. It's that hot up in that, huh? Yep. We back. Let me mute it. Let me get my pop outs. Pop out. Get all my windows tied up. What is going on, everybody? Krautster, where you at? Where you at? Everybody's checking in. What up? What up? All right, let me get this Zoom meeting. Yeah, I know. I got it. We were just pre-gaming, hanging out with the fellas, and just talking fun pre-game. We're out in the garage. It is hotter than the blazes of hell today. I mean, like 100 degrees out. Well, the title, it's getting even worse. Diesel trucks, who's parking them? Checking in. We're parked up here. I know some of you guys have been still driving your truck. Some have not been hanging up the reins. But fortunate, we have some gas savers, some puddle jumpers, courtesy of Krautster. And yeah, been parked for a month. Bought a Toyota Camry for fuel economy. Truck waiting on recall parts for transmission. Man, what's up, Brian? 7-3 question coming up. No problem, no problem. Bring it, bring it. I did get a chance to talk to Mr. Matt. Matt was going to come on. He might come on. He's a no call, no show. If he's out there listening, where you at? 592 in Ohio. We already got a fuel checked in. I don't know what I'm at. I haven't had to buy fuel in a minute. I am, however, getting 32.1 miles a gallon in my 04 Hyundai Elantra.
You driving that thing every day?
Heck yeah, I am.
Nice.
200 a day in my F550 in Tampa, Florida, boys.
Ooh. What are you
Good
saying? You got a
Lord.
car? You got a Hyundai?
A Hyundai. Yes, sir.
When'd you get that?
Almost a month ago. Coming up this weekend, be a month ago.
Just for fuel?
Krautster here in the comments. He donated it to the cause, and now we have a gas saver. Had to put some tires on it, but
Someone gave you the car?
yeah, Mr. Krautster, hammering down. We'll have to get a video on it. It's actually mighty
That
nice.
sounds like a good thing for this weekend. Now that my VW is running,
Oh,
we do the gas saver video.
Oh, 4-cylinder versus 4-cylinder diesel. 569 for diesel in my area, North Carolina. 599 a gallon at 18.3 miles per gallon. Drive Tremor it daily. I like it. I like it. 609 in PA. Okay. I've been getting only 15 at 70.67 DRW. Now that's pretty good. DS, what would you be getting at 70 miles an hour?
70 in what truck?
In your 450?
At 70, I'll probably be getting around 16.
Yeah, that big 430 gears. My VW is powered by Ford.
See? Ford.
This guy says, I've just been racing people less often to save fuel. Hey, everywhere you can pinch is good. I like it. Daily drive my 2020 Lariat. I had been. Actually, just courtesy of Daddy Diesel, I have some WeatherTech shades to put up in the truck. You guys saw me do a video on that, and I just actually put them on the truck today because it's been so freaking hot, and it just kind of dawned on me. It's like, hey, why do I have it in the front windshield?
All weather techs just came in too.
Did they? Gonna be hard to top that Hyundai gas wise. Driving my 2000 modified TDI Jetta now getting 52. Dang, and 431 on the clock. Holy kill, man.
I mean, I'm doing 55. I'm doing 55 at about 80 miles an hour. So
That's crazy. 8-valve, 4-cylinder, just killing it.
tractor motor.
Killing it. Got 20 miles a gallon going 85 for 4 hours going to northern Michigan. That's pretty damn good. Wow.
I can't
I'll call
wait to
that
see
a win.
what the Grand Marquis gets with that 273 gear set.
No kidding.
She's a fuel sipper. That's what she'll be.
Been waiting on my platinum for over 6 months. I will daily the shit out of it when I get it. You damn right you should. Don't cheat yourself, treat yourself. About to replace my tires on Friday. That's a good topic about tires, and we've slightly talked about it before. I just spoke to a gentleman today who has a dually. This is an older truck. This is an '04 6-liter, and I had about 2-3 years ago replaced the complete engine assembly with an ARP studded long block complete assembly. Sorry. And now it's time for some tires. And we were talking about what he's going to do for tires. And right now he's got BFGs on them. I mean, it looks pretty sweet being a dually with 6 BFGs, but that's a lot of money. And it got me thinking, like, if I had my choice right now to get rid of my Michelins, what would I get?
The best tire would be a Duratrack, in my opinion.
I like the white letters out. Do you like white letters out, Rich?
Depending
Or
on
do you
the
like
vehicle,
the black wall?
depending on the vehicle.
Yeah.
I mean, your truck's pretty blacked out, so probably not on yours.
I got my Michelin white letters are out. What
They
would you
are?
guys put? Would you guys have outside white lettering, or would you guys flip the whites on the inside and have just all black?
On yours, I'd have to say white on the inside.
Okay.
Yeah,
Look,
white on the inside.
customers
This is all
that
black.
have the darker trucks like yours, that's how they tell us to put it. They don't want white letters out.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't you have
Interesting.
black running boards and everything too?
Yeah. White letters in, black all the way. I gotcha. What would be the signs? What would be the signs? Tom says, what would be the signs for drive shaft hanger bearing?
So the carrier bearing,
Yeah, growling.
get
Rattling.
underneath it and just lay underneath it and grab the drive shaft and see if you can actually move the bushing
Yep.
up. Now the bushing's going to move. It's going to move a little bit, but make sure that it's the rubber housing and stuff that's around it is not sloppy inside that housing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we got some here. Oh, let me go back up. It's coming in too quick. Let's see. Our PS flatbeds have 488 final drive, 4.2. Oof. BFGs are what I'm going with on Friday, 360 per tire for E-rated OEM size BFGs, 360 a tire. Golly. Ridge grapplers for the win, even though a set of 35s is $2,100. Damn.
The Ridge
White.
grapplers, a lot of people love those tires. A
Really?
lot of the guys that do a lot of the power stroke, like off-roading and stuff, or the guys that do overlanding, that they have the small like truck camper setups in the back of their power strokes. They like those Ridge grapplers.
Yeah,
I
those are
guess
really
I
good.
haven't seen those. White letters out, white letters in. Ditched my Goodyear Duratrax on my 22 Tremor for Falcon Wild Peak. So much better. Wow. I don't think I've heard anybody running
The
those.
problem with the BFGs, I find, is a lot of people end up complaining about, why do I have to rotate my tires so often? Those BFGs, they wear funny.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
They're a softer tire. They'll end up making a lot of noise if you don't stay up on your maintenance.
Yep.
You have to be very diligent with it.
I will see it. I don't like Jeeps. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah.
But the vehicle that just stick out in my head is I'll be going for a walk and I'll hear and it's just a Jeep and I'm thinking like, man, what's going on here? Like, wouldn't you not want that noise? You shouldn't be rotating your tires. You
That
go
would
feel
drive
the
me
tire,
nuts.
gator backed, all scalloped diagonally. Just the steering wheel's got to be like this. I mean,
resonating through the vehicle.
oh my
yeah.
gosh.
BFGs do hook up. They do hook up pretty good though.
Oh,
Yeah, they do.
63 F100.
Wild
white
Peak,
letters
Wild Peak
out.
hooks up good.
Ooh. I like the backdrop behind you, CP.
Most of the complaints that we get is all BFGs, and I try to like teach people all the time about tread wear pattern and stuff like that. Is a lot of the power stroke guys, a lot of the Super Duty guys, they load their trucks up to the point where the rear is really starting to squat down and stuff in the back, and it'll take some of the load off the front, so the distribution of weight is not really even. And you'll see on the BFGs, they'll start wearing really fast, and it'll be higher at the front, and the rear of the tread will be wore out on a slope. And a lot of people are like, well, that's just because you're not rotating the tires. No, they're two different wear patterns. The wear patterns are completely different. One will wear at the front and one will wear at the back. Overloading it is the one where it'll wear at the, you got to think your biting edge is your front edge. So that's going to make contact first before the trailing edge. And if your biting edge is taller than your trailing edge, it's because you're pulling all the load off the front of the tires, and it's starting to squat down and pull up, and those BFGs make hellish noise going down the road.
I like my Ironmans on my truck. Cheap
Yeah,
and last.
I haven't seen anything wrong with those. We ordered some Ironmans to have them in stock for some of the commercial guys. They like running them, and
They're
they don't have a
cheap and
problem
they
with
last forever. I mean,
Nitto Ridge Grapplers.
I've got
Damn.
50K on mine, and they're still above the wear bars.
Yeah.
Goodyear All Terrain. A tire discount. Okay.
I wanna check out
Masterclass.
that. So while we're talking about tires, is I've seen a new tool to me, which is an Autel digital laser depth finder that you don't stick anything between the treads. You take the handheld device and you stick it to the center of the cleat, and it shoots a laser beam out all the way across the tire, and it will tell you where the tread depths are sitting.
No
you can
shit.
even do a you can set it up to where it'll tell you have like 7 30-seconds on the inside, but on the outside it's 5 30-seconds depending on what screen mode you want. And you just touch the tire with it, hit it, it shoots the laser out across the tire, and then it analyzes the tread depth, and it gives you a live reading right there on the handheld, so you don't have to sit there and try to poke the thing between the thread. It's looks pretty neat. Auto.
Michelin's. Coopers. Okay. I got Coopers on the Hyundai.
I run Coopers and Kelly's just because it's more of an economical tire, and I've never had a problem with them.
I get the cheapest ones possible because in 2 years I'm going to have to change them anyways.
Yeah.
Because they dry rot before they even wear out in Florida.
What would you guys do? Are you guys ones that would take your truck in to get the tires done? Here's the keys. Call me when it's done. Are you going to be the dude that is going to get the tires, let's say off Tire Rack, or find them wherever you can cheaper, and bring the 4 tires in with your rims and tires because you don't want the slime bags touching your truck? What would you do? What do you do? You taking it to the shop? Are you taking it to the dealer? Or
I dropped that bad boy off and tell them change my damn tires.
Are you bringing them all? Are you bringing all the materials?
Drop it off at Tire Kingdom and hope they don't wreck my car.
But my buddy,
I've used Discount Tire.
Okay, I've used I guess Discount Tire more. I mean, they're within the area. Yeah, get your Cooper Ridge Grapplers, Nitto Ridge. The only thing, like what was I just driving? It was a gas tremor, a 22 gas tremor, and I think the tires look awesome. They're the Goodyear Wranglers, and they're real knobby. I just don't like the road noise. If you get on a nice smooth road that you can find here in Michigan, it's just a little too noisy for me.
It's a little louder.
Yeah.
I have them. You can see them right there. You guys see that?
That's why I like your
If you're
Michelins.
if you're working fine, no problem. But I just
Yeah.
don't like the noise that.
Maybe they had some uneven wear. It
But that's
feels
just to be
like
expected.
you can
It's to be
feel that.
expected.
You can feel it. You can hear it. But to me, it's not bad at all. There's probably
Go
some
to
uneven
tire
wear.
shop, stand
My
there, and
problem-
watch their every move, especially
My
torque.
problem is I went to Discount Tire. You guys tell me if you'd be mad. I went to Discount Tire and I specifically said I want the same size.
Give the tech. I'm watching you.
I want the same size off of a trimmer.
Awesome.
But instead of them giving me like 35s on a trimmer, they gave me 33s.
Too much fun. Call me Woods. Okay. Go to tire shop, stand there, watch their every move, especially torquing. That's fucking awesome. You guys crack me up, man. Discount Tires got done good. Okay. If the dealer doesn't have the tires, I go get the tires and bring them in with me. Have zero trust in the tire shops. They don't touch the balancer setting between tires, which that has been known to happen. I've had a customer come in that had zero wheel weights on any of his tires, and I kind of find it hard to believe that what sticky weights and clip-on weights should have been on there, all of them flung off. I don't know.
Not likely.
Daddy Diesel, howdy. My BFG KO2s are not allowed. I avoid town fair tire. I call them town scare tire.
He probably maintains his truck properly.
Oh, Christ,
That's probably
funny.
why they're not allowed.
If you're gonna, I mean, it not with just a certain tire. I do it with mine, and I feel you guys should do it with yours to get really the maximum wear out of these tires on these big trucks. Rotate them however you want. I don't care what the book says. I want to do what you want to do. If you want to crisscross applesauce and flip the spare in there and take, you need to do it every oil change. Rotate your tires every oil change. We do it at the dealer unless it's requested by the customer front to back. Front to back. If you're going to come see me to do your maintenance, we're rotating your tires front to back every oil change.
That's what we do, front to back.
That's what we're doing.
But if you look at the book, it doesn't say to do it that way. We do it that way because we know that they start to wear a certain way. And if you look at the book, it says, what does it say? Move the fronts to the back, backs cross to the front.
I think so.
Straight back and then cross and then come over. And that's how you keep them rotated all the time. But then people are like, well, depending on the type of tire, that ain't going to work. You're going to get excessive road noise and you can cause a belt to break or something by doing this type of stuff. And we've had guys that they try it and they're like, it doesn't make a difference. If you do it the way the manufacturer says it and you do it from the beginning, it seems to work out fine. But I don't know. I mean, everybody has their own way of doing it.
I mean, you rotate tires. I don't think mine's been rotated once.
Make sure to hit that like, you guys. Chop 50, check this out. I really dig this. Tread City Tire in Buffalo comes to me. I'll order tires. They mount and spin and balance in their cube van and install. No, that's not a bad deal. Not too bad. Couple $100. I could dig that. Come to you.
That's pretty neat.
That's freaking awesome. For the ability to have that, to be mobile, that's very accommodating. Very accommodating.
Accessibility shortcuts. 17 items. Voice guide. Off.
Cheerio. A-Rod is load range F overboard. F250, F350.
What load range is that?
I think typical is just load range E, but I don't know what the weight classification for F is.
What weight is that?
Isn't E like 3,300 pounds of tire, and then it moves up to like 3,500 or 3,600 pounds for F?
I thought E was close to 4,000 pounds.
Gosh, I haven't looked at that chart in a long time.
I just looked at them on a transit. That's why I'm trying to remember, because they ordered the wrong ones for a transit, and I had to call Aaron, and I was like, Aaron, this doesn't sound right. Can you help me straighten this out in my thinking process? And I was thinking about it and I was like, this is a T350. This is not even set up for these kind of tires. This tire is not even made for this
That
transit.
vehicle.
I need an E-load tire for this transit. And when I was looking at the numbers on the chart, it said it was like 30. I could have swore it was like 33 or 34 for an E range, but I'm just going
Well,
off my brain.
it could be off. It could be closer to that number for transit because it might change with size as well.
Yeah, I'd have to look. Yeah, they were trying to put like it was a 20, 24 or 2,500 pound rated tire on that thing. You can't do that. We're sending the vehicle out with no load and it's already at its max limit. The guy can't even work the truck.
One of my followers in the Great White North, not far from where we are. He has got an 11 through 16 and has a P20EE. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but it's a catalyst. What's the definition?
Insufficient.
Verbatim? Yeah,
Efficiency.
it's like
whatever.
a P0420, P0430 code for gas. It's just not chemically working.
Accessibility shortcuts. 17 items. Voice guide.
Why
Pause.
does that keep happening?
What is that?
I think it's my TV.
It's detecting the new highest gas price and it's trying to warn you.
There he is, right there. He's here. And what has happened? Ford has came out with extended coverage for the catalyst, and if you get this particular DTC and this one other DTC, you can be eligible for having the DPF replaced at no cost to you, but you have to be within 11 years of a service from your warranty start date, and up to 120,000 miles. And if you've exceeded those, coverage is going to be extended till I think January 1 of 2023. So this gentleman, he's got it. He's been down. I don't know, Jim, how long you been down? I think I want to say like 3 months. It's been a while, and he's his truck was in D-rate mode, idle only. And no, not idle only. It was in 5 more miles. It's going to be idle only. So he took it back from the dealer. He's like on this waiting list. Hey, when's my DPF going to be here? No ETA. They can't get the glue and the crayons to make them, and so and so can't weld worth of shit. So we're not building. So we wait and wait and wait and wait. And he's like, well, I'm just going to turn my truck on. And lo and behold, after sitting, he hasn't fucked with it, hasn't done nothing. There's no message. There's no warning. The truck didn't go dead. He didn't clear anything. It's been sitting. He drove it home from the dealership and it's been sitting. So almost 3 months, he says. So his question is now, why did this debilitating fault happen to me? And I have not had a vehicle for the last 3 months. The dealer's saying I need to replace this catalytic converter and that this 20EE is showing up. And now I don't have this code. And what do? I don't know who to believe.
Well, was it really the DPF, or was it an injector or a NOx sensor?
Well, that's
the question.
Exactly. So I don't know if they jumped the gun and just saw the 20EE and say, hey, we're going to order a catalyst, but whatever was failed, I mean, I don't want to use the word reset. Like, it didn't just reset itself.
Well, it is, though.
You know what I mean? Right.
Yeah.
Like the component. Like, we work on the resistances of components, Rich, right? We're looking at the resistance of this or this. And
these things on these systems are very, very funny. They're very, 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 very funny. We bought a 2020 Mustang from the auction. It had been in an accident. It was a fleet vehicle. It was used in a fleet for 6 months, and then the front bumper got hit. They repaired everything, and whoever bought it at the auction did not see the discoloration and orange peel, or not discoloration, but the orange peel difference in the front bumper. And there were codes set in the computer for the RCM and for the louvers. I replaced everything. Once the RCMs get a code set in them, sometimes they don't like to, I mean, you're almost at the mercy of replacing it. Once there's codes there and something has been detected like as an accident,
You're
and
done.
even after replacing the RCM and getting everything done, that code still would not go away. And luckily it was one of our vehicles and it wasn't a customer's vehicle. I left that vehicle down after all the repairs, and it was the owner of the business that was putting his money into getting this thing put together for actually for his wife. His wife loved the lime green Mustang, and I could not get that RCM code to go away. And I shut that thing down, unplugged the connector for the RCM, unplugged the battery terminals and stuff, and I let it sit for 3 weeks untouched. Came back, hooked everything back up, and it reset the module, reset the system, put everything back together, and put it out on the lot. Vehicle still to this day, the customer's coming in for oil changes. Somebody else bought it because she didn't want to continue waiting. And it flagged a code for the RCM. It would not complete a clear from the system. And sometimes these things happen.
Wow. Like, how do you explain that to the customer? Or how do you make Jim here, understand and justify he's been waiting over 3 months for this part to come to find out, is this even the part that I need?
Yeah.
Was it a def injector? Was it corrosion in a connector? It's kind of up for speculation at this point, but nonetheless, I think these things are slowly getting trickled out. I do know there's a good couple of hundred people waiting for these catalysts, and I think only like 120 or 30 of them went out to be distributed. So how many of those went to Canada? I'm not sure. But it really sucks. I got 2 trucks waiting for the same thing, like he's got, except one of them is got black smoke coming out of it. And we know when we do a neutral rev up to like 3,000 RPM, if you see soot come out that tailpipe, the internal crack or I don't know, I don't want to say strength, but the internal guts of it is not it's not
cracked.
solid. The substrate's gotta
It cracked.
cool down weird and cracked or
Hit
something.
a mud puddle and cracked. Got oil in
Something.
it and cracked.
What would happen? What would happen in that situation? You just kept running it. Would a computer know that it's cracked?
Yep. He'll set
You'd
a
have a check engine light.
2002.
Yep. Why would the computer display DEF fault? Well, it depends on depends on the failure. If you had let's say somebody chopped your DEF line, well, you got a heater in that line, you'll get a DEF fault. If you had an EGT sensor, let's say that's way out of range, you're going to get the same reduced power message that you're going to get when you go into D-rate. There's a bunch of different things that's going to cause that particular DEF fault to come up, but
With a 20E, it's just because it's not working.
that
And
is.
it assumes it's the DEF injector.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's
They're
what
tricky.
helps. That's what helps the catalyst do its job as the DEF. So
I mean, this guy says if anybody needs a DPF that bad, there's one sitting in his garage. Worked fine when I decided to call Richard Simmons. They're not all interchangeable. That is correct. It would depend on said year and configuration. But
Do you know how much one of those costs? Like, let's say hypothetically, I needed one for
Yep.
my truck, like the whole setup.
Yep.
uh-huh.
How much are they?
The last one I looked,
it's like 5K.
Yeah.
What he's saying. The last one I looked at, it was exactly right at 5K, and
That's
we waited-
just the cat.
Well, that's just the cat.
2
That's
months.
Well, that's just the cat. That's not every component. That's not all the tanks and pumps and lines, and
No, that's just the system itself. They like.
that's just the actual catalyst.
I still quoted out all the sensors, the temperature sensors, and the module, and I forget what else it was. When me and the diesel tech were going through everything, he was like, when I do them now, I don't reuse any of the stuff that's there. I tell the customer up front, because it's out of warranty. If I'm going to do this, I really want to go in here and just replace everything that can be faulty with this. And just the system alone, just the cat alone, what do you call it? The tube, the torpedo. Just that alone was $5,000, and it was a no ETA off back order. And then finally, 2.5 months later, it showed up. But by then, the customer had already taken the vehicle and said, "I'm just going to have it. I'm not going to wait any longer." And we had one sitting, and another fleet vehicle came in that needed it. And luckily, we already had it in stock, because that would have been a lot of money to sit on.
It's very interesting that when you think about all these components, bro, that's a whole nother motor. And as far as just cost.
Yeah.
Cost alone. That, I mean, maybe a diesel engine is more than that, but like a gas engine is.
When Aaron was just talking, that's what comes to mind when we start talking about these things, is you have to think about how complicated everything is getting, how many more systems are getting added to make these vehicles operate, how many more modules and CAN bus and all this, and multiple network communication. And it's getting to the point where, it's just overwhelming. It's overwhelming, and you got to expect the system to, at some point, when these vehicles start showing up with 50 and 60 modules on them, something's going to fail. It's not going to be perfect, but it's kind of the society we live in today. The stuff is expensive.
What do you think they're going to do if they have that shortage of DPF or DEF?
DEF.
Well, they already have a shortage of it. I mean,
Ford has a shortage of particulate matter sensors, and they're not selling trucks. Well, they're selling them, but you can't take them.
They're not building diesel. I mean, they're having a shortage of diesel trucks right now because of the sensor.
They were going to release them, but the programming wasn't right or something. They had a message for stop sale on it.
Oh.
Yeah.
They were going to sell them without the particulate matter sensors on it, and you get the sensor once they start coming in, but then the programming wasn't right, and they put a stop sale on it.
Well, just think of the world. The world could come to a halt, or at least the country could come to a halt if there's no more DEF.
Yeah. Then guys like me with my old 7.3 will be driving by waving.
But then again,
burning trans fluid. See ya.
I mean, dude, you probably would see the cost of diesel go down. Like if there's no DEF, I mean, that could drop diesel prices. Because
that's not necessarily the case, because you would think so if people aren't driving, but that's not it. Look at I don't want to get into the politics of it too much, but the Flying J. I seen new messages last night on their pumps. They don't have DEF. A lot of their fuel stations for these trucks, the drivers that come in and fill up.
Yeah, I heard that.
They have white signs up on the buildings, on the pumps, that they're out of DEF. And, it's
true that.
Either they're not selling it for whatever reason. I know more about it than what I care to actually talk about on here, because everything being monitored. But at the same time, it's like you said, when you don't have the stuff to run the emissions component, that's when you got the owner of that vehicle by the cojones, and basically they're going to have to down the vehicle.
Well, the computer shuts the vehicle down. It's not like the vehicle won't run technically. It's just
because
the
why?
software. Well, software is it's gonna need that fluid in order to filter the.
Well, let's look at the bigger picture beyond that, though. It's not just power strokes. Let's think of over the road trucks. It's going to down the truck. The truck, yeah. And it's all regulated. So outside of just our work trucks that we're using for our construction companies and landscaping businesses and stuff every day, supply and demand is, we're not going to have supply, but the demand's going to be there. We're not going to have trucks that are running if they can't start producing enough DEF. But then if you think about it, everything's going to continue fuel just went up another 40 cents a gallon here, if not 75 cents a gallon here, over the last 9 days. And if that continues, the price of everything is going to keep going up. And it's going to get to a point where people just can't afford to buy things. People can't afford to drive their vehicles. People can't afford to operate, and they're going to have to start going without. And we're going to, I'm not going to get, like I said, I'm not going to get into the political side of
But
everything.
you brought up a good point. It's like if everything's going to keep doing this, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. There must be. We can't keep paying more if we're not going to be paid more. We can't keep paying more for gasoline and goods and services and groceries. Forget the gas.
Yeah.
I have to feed our children.
Right.
You're not
And
going to
when you work
more?
at these jobs,
Your
like for
labor
me,
rate's going up. You're charging more for parts.
I can kind of raise my prices, but what happens when you work at a job? Like, let's say you work at Kroger, and Kroger's not going to come out and give you a 30% raise.
Well, and and exactly what you just said is you almost took the words right out of my mouth. Is I'm up there at the service desk and we're putting a quote together for a job I'm doing, and he says that's 4.5 hours at $170 an hour. I said, wait a second, I thought we were just at 150 or 155. And he said, oh no, it went up again. It's everything else.
They're
is
at
going
what?
up. We're going up too.
What are you at?
170. And I was like,
the fuck out of here.
My
I was
old
like,
dealer's 200.
yeah, well,
It's interesting because they don't kick 30% back to the freaking tech.
then I thought about that to myself too. Well, then where's my pay raise? I mean, if it's more money on the company and it's more money on the people bringing the vehicles in, and it's more money across the board, then when do I get compensated for my time and me having to come to work every day and having to, I don't get a fuel bill. I don't get a fuel stipend. I don't get a tool allowance or any of that stuff. I mean, this stuff all comes out of my pocket. So if that increases, then technically I should have a small increase in pay as well. Nope.
You know, it's a crazy time right now because you see like trucking companies, you see a lot of them, maybe the smaller ones, maybe the newer ones, or maybe people who have alternate businesses or alternate forms of income. You see a lot of those companies closing up the doors for trucking. They're like, hey, I'm getting out of trucking now. It doesn't make any sense anymore. When the insurance goes up,
it doesn't,
and the fuel is up, and the brokers are saying you can't charge. I mean, they're deciding the price. You can't just jack up the price, and it's like it doesn't make any, it's no longer feasible.
If
Well,
somebody's willing to supply me with a PBR, I can manufacture some DEF.
Well, what does it mean for us? There's no. That means our products aren't moving. What should really happen is they should lift that. If it's going to shut the country down, maybe they need to lift that for a couple of years.
It is. Look at this. Tim Smothers says, already at the point where people are struggling, families paying $350 a month for groceries here in Arizona and everywhere else. $350 a month. Bro, that's almost cheap. A car payment.
I'm paying $400 between me and Erica. I mean,
you mean for groceries?
Yeah. Between
$400.
The three of us, when we go out to get groceries and stuff like that, it's 2 adults and a child, and we're 30 minutes outside of Chicago. It's like $115, $120 every time we go grocery shopping. It might be once a week or $250, $300. So we're probably paying close to $400 or $500 a month for groceries, and everything has just went up. We're paying way more for stuff.
Wow,
guys, I'm pretty
think
sure,
about this.
I'm pretty sure we're spending like $700 a month in groceries. Who
would have thought beer is cheaper than gas? How crazy! I didn't even put that in perspective. That's crazy.
How do we take it back to like the 40s? We run our cars on like liquid.
But here's a problem though as well. Some of the beer companies, I know for sure Coors Light has like some kind of recall or something right now on their.
For what?
Their beer, because these people are starting to post on social media where they're cracking open these fresh cans.
Oh,
of Coors
yeah.
Light, and it's coming out like slimy syrup.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then one of the guys in the comment section said, if you actually Google Coors Light recall or like a callback or something, you'll see that they're actually under a full, like, they're trying to figure out
Bobby,
what's going
damn.
on.
Wow.
Do they really
I
get that
just saw
water out of
TikTok on
Rocky
that.
Mountains?
Oh, I don't know. Probably not. I don't know. Well,
Coors
you
Light
never know.
is-
Maybe they do. I don't know.
Coors Light is pretty good.
I like it. I like it.
They
It's
used to have a flavored one though. I want to say they had a flavored one.
those are my Modelo Presidente from the Dominican Republic and Coors Light on my smooth.
Presidente.
I don't drink, but I'd have a Modelo with you
Ugh.
Oh yeah, you would, wouldn't you?
if you were here. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
or if I was there or you were here.
Then we could never mind.
Around 600.
Oh,
Man, that's
oh,
bad.
You forgot your binky here last time. I'll bring it over next time I come over.
Mama.
Oh man.
We'll cut on the
Coors
couch.
is why Lake Mead is dropping. Oh.
That's why I was drinking Ice Mountain water because it came from like an Indian reservation or something.
Okay, I'll ask you guys a question. I don't really drink beer. These are from a buddy that. What do you guys think of these? Do you guys
Oh,
drink
yeah.
these?
They're good.
You guys
They're
like
good, yeah.
these?
Yeah, they're very,
What are
very
they?
popular around here.
What is it?
Lennon Kugel Summer Shandy.
Leinenkugel? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're good. They're it's got a little stronger taste to it. A little, you can taste some of the hops behind it, but it's very, very popular around here. A lot of the older folks, the retired folks, I see them at the grocery store picking up cases of that stuff, going out on their boats and stuff.
Put on a little Florida Georgia lime,
Yeah.
lime and Kugel.
Okay. Well, somebody, excuse me. Somebody had asked way back up there. Oh my gosh, like he's taking it words right out of my mouth. DS, what happened to your truck issue? What's going
Dude,
on? What
I was
happened to
just
DS
thinking that.
trucks?
Let them
tell
know
'em
what you
what's
saw
the
when
deal?
you went up there.
So I'm just gonna. I didn't get to eat a whole lot of dinner because it was just too damn hot. Oh, excuse me.
I was watching some of your video on your truck. I was catching some of that when you were showing how the two different sides, like where not the spring perch tower and stuff was positioned back in one area
Yeah.
versus the other, and how it was all twisted. And I was like, damn.
Yeah, man.
So the K member that's underneath the oil pan is actually pushed up into the upper oil pan. So I'm thinking, after talking with my coworker, it started to make a lot of sense. We have those frame ends are supposed to deflect away and crumple. Well, now that we have these plow mounts on them, that's more rigid and is not going to crumple. The next weakest link is back here. And that's what it
Yeah.
did right by the oil filter.
Yep.
It just crumpled. Well, that piece of metal is also attached to the K member and is just smashed right into the upper oil pan. So I don't know entirely what the game plan is going to be if, in fact, they cannot get a full frame. I was told that they had to cut off the front section of the frame. What up, Freddie? I don't know if it's because it's a 450. I don't know. Freaking weird, but unfortunately,
450s, yeah. I did hear somewhere that 450s have like a unique front section or something like that.
maybe that's why I've never had to look up a frame.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. Like maybe that plow mount helped, or maybe it hurt. You know, maybe without it, more of that damage could have worked its way back into the motor or to the front end more. If that plow mount wasn't there and it didn't deflect all that force right into the frame, you know, or maybe is less damage. You'll never know unless it was done both ways around. Maybe the
And
freaking
they-
airbags would have blew off if it wasn't for that plow mount.
Did they said it wasn't your fault?
Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, I honestly haven't followed up with the police.
Well, you're not about to get pinned for something, are you?
No, I didn't get no ticket, and it wasn't as of right now. No, it wasn't my fault. But I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not.
Hopefully she had insurance.
Yeah, they told me when I talked to my adjuster, she said that I could go after her insurance for like for my deductible. So that kind of means it's not my fault, I guess. It really couldn't be. She was turning left and I had a green light and I had a ton of witnesses.
Yeah.
And she kind of pulled out right when I got close to the intersection. And I just slammed the brakes.
So we're just driving here. Let me just pull out.
Yeah, I was towing too. I was towing a trailer.
Need to get that dash cam installed.
Yeah.
What DEF is everyone normally buying in the 2.5 gallon containers? Motorcraft, Blue Def. Are you guys using something else?
The one dude was that diesel guy that specializes in all manufactured like diesels. He was saying that he liked the Blue Def Platinum, and he was like, that stuff seems to run really, really well and very, very clean. So he said that's what I run in my Super Duties is the Blue Def Platinum.
Guy saying he's getting Blue Def at Home Depot. Okay.
So I was kind of curious about that. I saw a video, a gentleman was talking about the def and how it's making it run better and all this. I was thinking, like, how so, man? Like, how is it making it run any better? It's def.
Maybe
Peak.
by keeping the system cleaned out better and it can breathe better instead of it. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of because if you think about it, it's just what does it come down to? Like 67% water and like 33%, or the other way around, like 72 and 28 or whatever.
Well, as long as the DEF concentration is at 33% or above, I don't give a shit what you're using.
Right.
So how would you find out? Well,
Yeah.
you'd have to get a refractometer, and that would be you checking as you're about to dump it into your dispense it into your container. However, you don't want to test it and then now you have it. I guess if you found a way to seal it back up and whatever, but you don't want to. We already went over this about DEF and storage and temperatures and so on.
I guess my whole idea from a few shows back, where when I after we got off here, and I was like, man, I wonder if we could like grab like a bag of urea from the local co-op or something like that, and actually like mix up our own, create our own concentration of straight urea and then water, and do it ourselves and make our own def. I mean, I remember working at the co-op and having access to like hundreds of thousands of pounds of this stuff, and I could just pull a swinger loader in the stall and just pick up a whole giant bucket load of this stuff and go mix it because the rice fields used urea. And I was thinking, I wonder if there's a way a guy could take some straight concentrate like urea granule and make his own def fluid.
Well, so the urea is a granule that dissolves in the water.
Yeah.
So you probably have to get like distilled water, like battery quality water, or like at least coolant quality water.
Well, the stuff that we had was granule form. I'm sure you could get it in liquid form too if you ordered it from special chemical places, but
you'd have to have some good measuring equipment.
Oh, sure, it would have to be spot on to.
And a refractometer would help too.
Yeah.
And I don't see why not, right? It's like a fish tank. I used to have a saltwater fish tank. You had to have a refractometer and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty interesting. Ooh, buy a trap house for DEF.
Yeah, man. We should be.
What you doing, man? We trapping. What you making? Well, I
Well,
got that
maybe the
DEF.
issue,
Actually, we
maybe
can
the
have a
issue right
roaded
now,
one.
right?
Oh,
The
what?
issue right now is that we're short on this urea, right?
Well, since DS doesn't really have a reason for that trailer right there right now, I mean, we could have a rodent trap house making our own death right there in that trailer.
Oh, dude, you're a genius. Nobody would know what's going on.
This would
Nobody
be
would
like
have-
Breaking Bad, but we mobile. And we making death.
We're bringing it to you. You're not coming to us because we don't want you to know where we're at.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
Breaking Bad. I love that show, man.
I have 2 refractometers. I have one. I made a video on it showing you guys that unfortunate situation with that tow truck, but it was really interesting. Going from their tank to the motorcraft. I mean,
Was he getting DEF from a truck stop or something?
no, they kept it in a 55-gallon drum at their shop, and would dispense it like that. Hey, Rod, do you have a video on your dash cam setup? I don't, but I am going to. I need to take like a week off, and I got a lot of shit I need to do, and that's one of them.
Why don't we knock some out this weekend?
Mobile trap.
You mean you
I
take
buy-
a week off and get caught up on videos?
Yeah, I just got so much stuff. I don't have time.
Well,
Well,
you're
time
gonna have
I'm-
to make time, buddy.
I'm working on everybody else's truck. I can't even work on my own rig. Can't even drive my own rig.
That's why I told myself now is I have to stop. I have to stop taking everybody else's work, and I have to start working on my own stuff, and I've got to start taking a little bit more time for myself because I'm getting
True
nothing
that.
done.
I
It's
know,
messing
man.
up with my videos. It's messing with
I
my
know.
content.
I know.
Oh man, same here.
I know. What to do with a Super Duty that dealers are not able to repair? Well, I am in the Motor City. They're making
was it?
death. They're making death. Call the police. Oh my God. The guy at the gas station today couldn't count as high I needed the pump to go. Well, Junior, I'm sorry, Daddy. Will death hold up longer if it's in a cool, dark place? Most certainly it will. Cool, dry, 55, 60 degrees. You're looking up to 36 months. But if you go to the video where we talked about death, I broke it. I showed you the label on the side, the date code. You can see when it was manufactured and can adjust your stock accordingly to have the oldest at the top and the newest at the bottom, so you can make sure if you're going through that much, you know what I'm saying. Selling death by the gallon in the back alley. And I got the fire in them death, bruh. Got the fire in that death. Convert the
Yes,
wine cellar to a
did
death
you see,
cellar.
You seen my video today on the Bronco?
I did.
No.
You did?
With the valvers?
The valves dropping out on them?
Yeah, it was like 10 minutes or 7 minutes or something.
No, it was more than that. It was longer than that. It was depending on which one you've seen. If you've seen the one on YouTube, it was different than the one on the talk. The talk.
You're showing the tag, like the thumbnail was like a part tag or something.
Yeah, it was the Lima plant. It's I've been trying to look into it as much as I possibly can, and I can't find very much information on it. But I did find the Ford Bulletin update to the consumer stating that there was an inferior, basically, valve that was built around the April time frame of 21, and looking through the forums, the lowest mile I seen was 980 miles. The guy's engine was gone. And then the highest mileage I'd seen out of the 55 known cases right now was only like just shy of 7,000 miles. And it's at highway speeds, just cruising, just all of a sudden done.
Yeah, if they make it over 10K, then good to go.
Yeah,
What engine is that?
the 2.7 EcoBoost.
Oh,
In the Bronca.
Yeah.
but it has to be in a Bronco, huh?
Huh?
Only in Broncos?
Yeah, well, I mean, so far from what I've seen, it's
Yeah.
just around the April timeframe of 21. It's like a bad batch of valves that were somehow made for these. I was looking at Ford's highlight update bulletin, and it was saying that they had identified the failure and they're working to fix it, but there's no like TSB put out yet or SSM that I've seen. Um, of course, it's going to be an LTIS situation.
Oh,
where
most definitely.
everything's got to
I
get
don't-
replaced.
I don't know why they're losing their mind over his LTIS. I mean, you get
Yeah.
an engine. Who cares?
Yeah.
That's
What's
what
updated?
warranty's made for, right?
If people watch my video, I kind of break down the same thing, and I say it differently than you. Like, okay, there's a reason why you have a warranty. I understand your vehicle is down, but there's also provisions that if the dealer doesn't have another vehicle to give to you, you can go rent a vehicle, and there is a reimbursement protocol through Ford to get your money back if you have a good enough dealer that's willing to go to bat for you and do the homework. All it is just paperwork, and you can get your money sent right back to you. Ford never said that they would never send you reimbursement back. They're always pretty good with that. You just have to go to a dealer that's willing to do the work for you.
Yep.
True that.
You just gotta find
Not
someone that wants to
difficult.
work.
Yeah,
And that
the
can be hard
problem is-
sometimes.
The problem is there's a lot of service writers and service managers at the dealerships that do not know how to do the proper paperwork to get the claims taken care of for customer rentals that they have to pay for in the meantime.
Got to keep up on it. It's a never ending process to submit for rentals and
Let me ask you guys this. How you guys been doing on staffing at the dealer?
We've been good so far. I mean, the biggest thing that we go through is sales, and we don't really go through technicians. Service department pretty much held together pretty strong. We had a lube tech that left, and he went to a warehouse job just because he was tired of all the, I guess, dealer shenanigans and politics behind having to show up on time. He said he hated having to show up on time, and I was like, well, that's going to be anybody's
wow.
job. And young guy did come in 20, 30 minutes late and just smile on his face because he knew they couldn't fire him and he would abuse it. And
Why couldn't they fire him?
they try to hire new, fresh people, but there's nobody really applying for the jobs.
Oh,
So they're at the mercy of pretty much dealing with. He's a good kid. He's a good worker. He needs mommy to wake him up in the morning. So
some people just like that, man.
yeah,
They'll work, but they have to be late. Like I got a guy right now that's like that, and you can get him to be on time, and you just lie about what time you're starting. Just tell him like, hey, we'll start at 7:30. He'll be there. He'll be there. He'll be there late for his time, but like right on time for everyone else's.
Yeah. I mean, we took a tech from a Chrysler dealership, a local Chrysler dealership, because he was originally a Ford tech, and the dealership auto group that he was with moved him over to Chrysler because they lost one of their mainline techs, and they're going through a lot of engine issues, electrical issues, and stuff like that. And he hated working for Chrysler. He said he absolutely despised it. And he was like, I just want to go back to Ford, and they wouldn't move him back to the Ford dealership. So he was like, well, then I'll quit and I'll go find another Ford dealer because I'm not working on this Chrysler stuff. And he came to us, but overall we've had pretty steady the same people. So it's not so much the staffing, it's getting parts, being able to stay busy. My biggest thing that makes me think about leaving the dealer all the time is the fact that I'm tired of dealing with the circus show. I'm tired of waiting for parts. I'm tired of getting the wrong parts 3 or 4 different times. I blew up on the parts guy the day before my vacation, and I went in there and I was like, this is not the part that I asked for. Can you give me the right part? So he gave me the right part, and I went back out there and I started working some more, and I was like, dude, this is not even the gasket for this engine. Just can you give me the right gasket?
What are you guys doing?
And then I go back in there again and I'm like, what is this for? Why did you give me this? Because I didn't even ask for this. Don't add parts to my list. If I don't ask for it, do not put them in there because you're trying to generate more revenue or something for the parts department. Take all this crap, all this engine shampoo and stuff. I don't even need any of this stuff. Like, just because it says you can do it, don't charge it out on my, and then I have to store it out here. I don't want to store it all over my box and my cabinets and stuff. And then finally on the fourth time of standing in there for 10 minutes before I got the part that I needed, I was like, look, I shouldn't have to do this. I'm eating up a half hour, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, walking back and forth all the time. I don't get paid to do this. Fix this crap because I'm tired of dealing with it. This is my time and the customer's time, and you're obviously not caring. And I blew up. Well, then he got mad at me, and I said, I don't care if you're mad at me. If it hurts your feelings, then maybe your feelings need to be hurt because we're tired of dealing with this stuff.
No doubt. Preach
So
it. Preach it.
I went and I told my service manager what was going on, and he said, no, you shouldn't have to be there babysitting them and picking up after them. But this happens every single day, and then waiting for parts, and then the customers coming in irate and dealing with aftermarket warranty companies that don't want to pay because they want you to tear down first. And then once you tear down, then they're trying to negotiate teardown time, even though you've already negotiated teardown time. And it's like, man, I'm looking at this industry more and more every day, and I'm like, it looks like it's failing.
And it's hard to deal with sometimes, but I keep trying to tell myself not to worry about what I can't control. And I often lose sight of that goal, but I try to stay as focused as I can, try to worry about what I have going on.
The same, I always snap out of it eventually, and then I'm back to my old fury self for 3 or 4 weeks, and then I'm right back in the same rut again. And I'm like, man, I don't want to keep feeling this way.
I feel you.
36 years old, and I feel like I'm 50 years old with all the stress and stuff I've dealt with, if not older, and dealing with the same stress levels and customers complaining about things and not getting parts and everything else. And it's just, sometimes I think to myself, maybe I should just go work in my own shop where I can actually call my own. I don't have to work on anything brand new where I'm waiting for parts. I can go to AutoZone or Napa or Rock Auto or something like that. It's difficult because I love what I do. I love Ford Motor Company, and I'm loyal to them, through and through. I bleed Ford, but sometimes it's difficult.
Why does it have to be difficult when you explain this to, an up and coming technician? When I think back, I don't remember having my mentor prepare me for the sensations and feelings and stresses that that accompanies being flat rate, that accompanies being in a dealership setting. It can be very trying. I don't know if you guys understand how the flat rate works, but Rich has got a good gig going on with the state of Illinois, and then whatever the process is. But I think Michigan needs to adopt something like that as well, because this isn't getting easier, and it feels like we wind up, always getting the short end of the stick. But
we passed a labor bill here, and I know some of you guys have heard me talk about it before, and it was unanimous, both political parties. The governor signed off on it, and it was the local 701 union and the Illinois Automobile Dealers Association worked together to basically create HB 3940, which is 1.5 times the labor rate that the manufacturer calls for. If it's 18 and a half, let's just say it's 20 hours for a short block and a 1.5 liter EcoBoost, you're making 30 hours. It's 1.5 times the labor rate to bring it up to par with what the customer would be paying typically. They want to make it fair across the board. There's no more technicians losing 33%, 40% of their labor pay just because it's the manufacturer should pay the same labor time that the customer would pay. And there's some other things with parts pricing and all this other stuff they got put in this bill as well to protect the consumer. I don't know how much it actually protects the consumer because I didn't look into that, but the labor is nice, but you got to get the parts to do the work in order to be able to claim this new labor rate that they're paying us.
Well, I
Feast or
feel like
famine.
that definitely helps the customer because now the dealership in that situation is not incentivized to prioritize customer work out of warranty
Yeah.
over the warranty work.
And it helps the tech slow down a little bit so he doesn't have to rush through things, knowing that he has the time to really pay attention and focus and zone in on exactly what he's doing. Because sometimes, depending on what the job is, you have to rush because there's so many people. You know, I may go to work and I have 2 tickets sitting on my box to start in the morning, or I may have 6 or 7 tickets. And, you know, you have to prioritize your time because there are promised times and everything else that they don't check with you on. They promise it, not knowing what you're going to have to go through to get these jobs done. And you got to try to adhere to those times the best that you can within reason. And getting paid a little bit more helps you actually do an actually cleaner job, because I noticed that whenever I'm doing bigger major jobs, I'll slow down, you know, just a hair, not a ton, and I'll really make sure that I'm maybe doing something I didn't do before. Maybe you didn't go to the extent of wiping this engine down completely before and making sure every nook and cranny and hose is wiped off, and maybe it was just a quick spray off when you're done with your job. And now I'm actually like, hey, I want to detail this engine. If the detailers can't get around to it, I'll go down there and do it, because I'm actually making enough time to where I could go do this now to make sure the customer is getting this vehicle back clean, no fingerprints. I'll even take my own personal vacuum and vacuum out the inside of the car if I can for them, just to make sure all the dirt and debris and stuff's out of it. So when they come pick up the car, they feel like they're getting service. It's not just somebody replacing a part and saying, hey, hope it works. They feel like they've had somebody that cared about the product while it was in their hands. And
I like what you just said there. I like providing a service. It's not that I just put a part on your truck and it fixed it. It's providing a service that's encompasses the customer interaction, encompasses fix it right the first time, quality, cleanliness. I think when you wrap all of that into one bubble, that makes a great outcome for a customer viewpoint survey, or when their expectations have fully been met. That's the word of mouth, the clientele that we work on. That's how Rich gets these guys dropping their vehicles off for cam phasers, or I got this vibration noise, and people are recognizing that for the both of us, and it's generating workflow for how we make a living. People are noticing that it would bother me if I just did all this work to this truck, did a master cylinder recall on a Raptor, and instead of me hosing down this little area that I got with brake fluid and hose it down with brake cleaner, I took it over to the wash rack and used the power washer. The engine looks brand new. Got the side of the battery underneath the hood, got the side of the fenders, got the air cleaner housing. He's going to pop. I don't know if he did, but I would like to think he would. I would. He's going to pop his hood. He's going to be like, damn.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that's important. I would, I'm not very frequently on that side of the fence like you guys. We were talking about tires, guys saying that my face would be pressed up of a glass looking at their every move. I've never been on that side of the fence. I'm always on this side being, like we're in the zoo and we're being looked at. I get it. I get it. I get it. That's why when I see that, like your actions are conveying to me that you're nervous. You probably got OCD. You want to know who the fuck's working on your truck. Hey man, come here. Come on. Come here. Let me talk to you. I'd like to meet you. Let's talk about it. Let me take away that stigma of your hey man, relax. I want this to be an enjoyable experience for you. I want you to come back here and be comfortable knowing that, hey, I want that guy to work on my truck again. I don't have nothing to worry about. I can enjoy.
I'll
I
do
know.
that. If I see them watching me or something like that, and I'll be like, hey, come on back here, man. You can come back here or whatever you want to ask some questions
Absolutely.
while I'm doing this or whatever. If I'm finishing up or they're curious about what it looks like underneath the vehicle. Can you explain what you're looking at to me and stuff when you're inspecting my vehicle or whatever? I'll bring them back there. I mean, it used to be an issue with the service manager, but the senior techs they know to keep them clear and safe, not to not to be around any hazards or anything like that.
Hmm.
I'll bring them back there and let them see. And just how picky some people can be with their vehicles sometimes is it's it's pretty amazing to me, and I've never really thought about it to the extent that I did before I went on vacation. My neighbor across the street here, he bought a the newest edition Hemi Jeep Grand Cherokee, and he called up the dealer, and he had them searching all over the place for the specific package. The dealer drove it 20 minutes out here to his house to drop it off. He did all the paperwork from home. And then they took the paperwork back to the dealer, put everything through, brought the finalized paperwork, everything back out to his home, finished signing everything out here. And he never even had to leave his home to buy this vehicle. And this man is out here in his driveway with the hood popped and a microfiber towel, and he's wiping every little small tiny spot off this engine, off the outside of the vehicle. And he was talking to me and he was like, man, I'm so picky about my vehicle. I'm so scared whenever I go in for oil changes that they're not going to like to wipe their fingerprints off the airbox or whatever. And this is an expensive vehicle that I paid cash for. And this how diligent this guy is. And I see my neighbor out here doing this with this vehicle that he just adores. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm the tech on the other side that's servicing vehicles like this, and you never know what type of customer you're dealing with. So if you can provide that service to them every time, where it's like, hey, let me do a quick vacuum, let me do a quick wipe down, let me do a quick engine clean or something like that, and then provide it back to them better than what they gave it to us, the surveys are going to be amazing. The
I used
customer
to get
service.
I used to get worked up when people would work on my vehicle. As I got older, it becomes a machine and my focus turned to actual important things in life. It comes with age. Damn. Well said, brother.
Well, with this guy, it's the opposite way. He's like in his 70s, and he's now it's not just a machine to him anymore because he's older and he's retired, and they have two Jeep Grand Cherokees, and they're the sportier, nicer editions. And with him, it's an image thing for him. He's always liked Chrysler products. He's always been a Chrysler fan. It was in his family his whole life, and that's the only nice thing that he has as an older gentleman that's living the last portion of his life. So he's very, very, very picky about how everything is and looks. It's almost like uh, keeping up with the Joneses type statement that he wants his stuff to look better than everybody else's because it's a pride thing. It's nothing wrong with that, but I think about that and I'm like, it makes me nervous as the tech. Like, what if I return a vehicle that's not to that customer's approval back to them because I didn't wipe something off or I forgot a fingerprint on the handle that I didn't see, and you get that one guy that wants to complain about it. So it's
I get it. I get it. Hmm.
Good night, everybody. Good
Oh, I
night.
didn't know DS was still here.
Thanks for having me.
Oh wow, there he is. Yeah, DS is gonna peace. A few other guys have slowly went the way of the bed, which I think we will do too. I want to leave you guys with question for next time as we continue to get further into this gas ordeal with what's going on in the world. I want to start thinking about what we're going to have to do to adjust how we're going to live our lives with our power strokes. Are we not going to care? Are we going to keep driving, or are we going to start cutting back monetary value with how we operate, dump money into it, modifications? Are we going to wait and put that to the wayside? I don't know. America, we love our trucks. Let me know, guys. I appreciate you all for watching. Thank you all for hitting that like. We will see you guys on Friday for a very special looking F450. I think you guys are going to enjoy what I put on for this fella. I will see you guys Friday, 5 o'clock.